very good evening. You're watching Business Tonight. This is your wrap of the biggest corporate and market news of the day in South Africa. I'm Bronwyn Nielsen, and this evening Lindsay Williams is joining me as my co-host from Cape Town. Been a long time since I last co-anchored with you, Lindsay.
Well, it's been a long time, Bronwyn. I've got this feeling of deja vu. I don't know if I've taken a step in the right direction or the wrong direction, but I must say that for those of you that don't know, Bronwyn and I used to co-host a show on another television station many, many years ago, and there was an extraordinary situation that occurred where Bronwyn and I had to sit, as we are now, at the same desk and interact with each other about the markets, but we had an argument, which was all her fault, of course, and for around about 7 or 8 months we didn't speak outside of the studio, but we had to speak in studio, and it was very awkward, Bronwyn. Let's not let that happen again, please.
Well, hopefully the distance between us is going to smooth things out from the beginning, Lindsay. So let's set a new tone here, and thanks for joining us on the first ever Business Tonight where we are co-hosting. We've also got another partner on our show, and it's Tamishu Makanyela who's going to take us through the top business stories.
Thank you, Bronwyn. Let's take a look at those stories. Capitec's net loan impairment expense rose by 92% to just under 2 billion rand, and consumer confidence slumped to a decade low in the third quarter as strikes hit the manufacturing and mining industries and fuel costs soared to a record. Well, this according to the FNB RMB index. But right now it's over to Lindsay with the market update.
Thanks, Tamisha. Yeah, we'll get that photo up in a moment. I'm absolutely certain. The markets, they're not so certain about what's going on right now. We've got a sort of a situation where the market needs to be fed good news because they're at such highly elevated levels, but they're not getting that food at the moment. So let's have a look at what's happening with the overseas markets. Dow Jones at the moment, there you go, exactly flat, 15,333, and the Euro Rand is 13.46. So that's the markets at the moment, and let's have a look at what's happening. Bronwyn, let's go back to you first of all.
Well, we've got guest hosts this evening, Mark Ingham from Ingham Analytics and Mohammed Nalla joining us from Nedbank Capital.
But, you know, if you drill under that, you know, although the market's frothy, there are a few nuggets of good industrial value there. PPC is a good example.
Mohammed, before Lindsay comes back in, let's get your thoughts. And I know this is defying the odds in your book.
Absolutely. I mean, Bronwyn, we've been fairly cautious over the last while and really against our expectations. The market has successively broken to these record high levels.
Riaan himself joins us in studio now. Riaan, it's always a pleasure to have you. Just in terms of the numbers out today, the market seems a little perturbed about some of the underlying numbers and what it means about the South African, what implication it has for the South African consumer going forward. Should we be concerned?
Well, Bronwyn, yes, we are concerned.
I don't know if this is going to be a sort of Sir Alex Ferguson moment, because as soon as he left, the Manchester United stock was right at its peak, and now it's sort of falling off. And I wonder if the same is going to happen to Capitec.
I don't think that's relevant. We're not a single person company. We've got good material, and we've invested heavily in training and developing our staff, which is now nearly 9,000. So I think, you know, the material is there. We definitely lack leadership in this country.
Lindsay, will you stop dropping your papers on the set? Riaan, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Outgoing CEO of Capitec, Riaan Stassen, joining us live in the Business Tonight studio. Well, that's all we have time for on Business Tonight. Thanks to my two guest hosts, Mark Ingham from Ingham Analytics, Mohammed Nalla from Nedbank Capital, and of course Lindsay Williams, who is now, I suppose, officially my co-host on this show, and he's still with me in Investment 360. Can I ask for more? After the break, we're back with that show, and of course we'll get another news update from Tamishu Makanyela.